Pete Hegseth has ordered a very unusual order. He has summoned 800 generals and admirals to the Pentagon. What is going on? There is something very serious happening. I think we all know that, and we need to talk about it. Let's go.
You're watching The Big Picture.
Now let's get right into it today on this rare breaking news show throughout the day here. We usually are not on the air around this time on Thursday. We've got a big show tonight with L.A. Marzulli, so be looking for that at 7 p.m. Central. But let's cover what's going on right now. Not a lot of people are talking about this right now, but I was just able to be on Pastor Mike Signorelli's program live with him to discuss this, and many of the Sig family, Papa Sig's families in the house. We just want to welcome you to the Big Picture family. And if you hadn't already done it, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it greatly. But this is what's going on. Hegseth has ordered a rare urgent meeting of U.S. generals and admirals. This is bigger than what you even think from that headline. It's crazy. So let's just read this from Newsmax. War Secretary Pete Hegseth has reportedly issued a highly unusual order directing hundreds of U.S. military generals and admirals to assemble next week, which will be on the 30th, at Marine Corps Base in Virginia, on short notice and without explanation, a move that has shocked military leaders. The directive sent earlier this week requires virtually, listen to this, all top commanders worldwide, those holding the rank of brigadier general or higher, or their Navy equivalent, along with their senior enlisted advisors, to attend the meeting at Marine Corps Base Quantico next Tuesday. The Washington Post reported Thursday in an exclusive. Even commanders, this is what's got me concerned here. Even commanders in conflict zones and those stationed in Europe, the Middle East, the Asia-Pacific region are expected to attend in person. The order does not apply to officers in staff roles. Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell confirmed that Hegseth will be addressing his senior military leaders early next week, but declined to provide further details, according to the report. No one interviewed by the Post could recall a defense secretary, which is now called the war secretary, ever summoning. I want to read that paragraph again. No one interviewed by the Post could recall a defense secretary ever summoning such a large number of top officers in this way. Quote, people are very concerned, a source told the Post. Quote, they have no idea what it means. The call for general and flag officers to meet in an unprecedented is as unprecedented as it is alarming, another source told the Post. You don't call GOFO's leaders, leading their people and the global force into an auditorium outside D.C. and not tell them why, the source said. A new national defense strategy is also in the works, expected to prioritize homeland defense over competition with China, and some officials believe this shift could be focused for next week's closed-door meeting, according to the Post. Are we taking every general and flag officer out of the Pacific right now? A U.S. official told the Post. All of it is weird. That was a quote as well. This week, President Donald Trump urged NATO to take a more assertive role in Ukraine's defense by using weapons to push back Russian advances directly on the front lines. He suggested that the U.S. would provide arms to NATO members who would then deploy them to Ukraine rather than shipping them directly from U.S. stockpiles. The shift marks a departure from its prior posture of limited direct intervention and reflects a broader recalibration of U.S. involvement in the war. Now, the article goes on. This you can find that at newsmax.com. But I want to show you a couple of other things in just a moment that I believe give us even more signals about where we are going. First of all, let's recap. Over 800 officials, top generals and admirals, brigadier generals, and the equivalent in all branches of the military. And by the way, every single branch of military. I'm talking about from the Coast Guard to Space Force, any part of the military. All of their top officials are being summoned to the Pentagon, Quantico. to meet with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Now, why is that important? Let's look at what has happened just in the last few weeks. Now, let's go back to this. This seems like old news, but this was only just a couple of weeks ago. For his 200th official executive action as 47, President Trump officially restores the original name Department of War from the Department of Defense. Let's listen in.
Thank you, and it's an honor to sign this, and we will do that right now. I think that's a big one, I'll be honest.
Now, I want to freeze it right there, and I want you to see. President Donald Trump just signed the literal order to change the Defense Department to the War Department. And now Pete Hegseth, who is holding that declaration in his hand, from that moment became the Secretary of War, not the Secretary of Defense. Now, I think the people from the Big Picture family understand the difference between a defense posture and a wartime posture. Defense is I'm always responding and reacting to what is coming after me. When you are of a war mindset, you are on the offensive. You are understanding is now we're beginning to see that this day was more than just, something to make fun of on X. Look at Trump. He's signing another order, renaming something else. No. Nothing is just happening. Everything is intentional. There is an absolute reason that we renamed the Secretary of Defense to the Secretary of War. And now the Secretary of War's first major meeting that he has is he calls for an unprecedented gathering of 800 plus generals and admirals from around the world. And the thing about that article that we opened with, if you're late, it said, even those that are in conflict zones, those that are stationed in Europe, Africa, the Middle East, all the Asia Pacific, all around the world, no matter where they're at, they're coming to the Pentagon to all sit in one room to hear from the Secretary of War. Let me ask you a question. Do we not live in a total digital society? We say on this program all the time that when we talk about AI, we talk about all the things that's going on in this world right now from a biblical perspective, but we try to tell you the facts. And the facts are, we know and we've learned from experience that if we're using this kind of AI, if we're using this kind of technology, this kind of encryption that's available to us, that's not what's available to the military. I mean, are we all in agreement here that they only let us use what they're done? They're finished. They're finished with. They've used it. It's done. Okay. Now they're on to the next advance of it. They're using things that we don't even know exist yet. And they roll it out to us when they feel like it's time for us to have it. So that being said, do you not know that it is extremely possible and absolutely fact that they could have had a video streaming, quasi Zoom, but it wouldn't be Zoom, meeting with all of these generals from around the world, and it'd be the most secure, encrypted video technology that humanity has ever seen. That's what the government has. Unhackable, okay, in their mind. I think of Titanic when I say unhackable, unsinkable. Remember, Titanic said they were unsinkable. I just don't believe there's any computer, I don't care who designed it and who owns it, that's unhackable now in this day. Especially with AI, you turn AI loose to figure out how to hack it, and AI hack it itself without a human. But the reality is this. There is a reason. I'm not trying to fearmonger here. I'm just trying to open your eyes to the world that we live in right now. There is a reason why they were all gathered. They're gathering in person. It's almost like when, your representatives and your senators, they'll let you hear the hearings and they'll question their witnesses. And then you'll hear that witness say, well, I'll need to tell you that in the skiff. which is, of course, a secure area that is no kind of signal can penetrate it. No one can leak a video signal out. It's the most secure room you can have. And they go in there and they talk real human to human, no technology. Well, there's no way you're not going to make me believe that this, whatever they're discussing, is so sensitive. They could not take a chance of it being hacked. They want to have them all in the same room. Ladies and gentlemen, that is very concerning. Very concerning. Now, one more thing in this timeline that just sort of slipped under the radar. And you have to ask yourself, is it coincidence that on September 19th, just a few days ago, Department of War implements new guidelines for media access at the Pentagon? Did you hear about that? Did you see that? Did you know that we changed the name from the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War, and Pete Hegseth then, just a few days ago, has brand new policy for media access at the Pentagon. Let's read what this means here. The Department of War is implementing new guidelines for what parts of the Pentagon are accessible to the press. In a memo first obtained by the Daily Wire, Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell shared, quote, updated physical control measures for press and media access within the Pentagon. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has initially shared this information in May, but the Thursday memo implements these directives, requiring credentialed media to sign new documents, essentially renewing the guidelines for access to the building. Previously, Pentagon press had very easy access to the premises. An official close to the situation told the Daily Wire. Reporters could traverse the building much like the press can access the United States Capitol and easily observe generals or high-ranking officials visiting with the Secretary of War or entering classified meeting rooms, allowing reporters to easily publicize the inner workings of the Pentagon. Not anymore. All members of the press are issued a Pentagon facility alternate credential, will be required to read and sign a new in-brief form outlining information security requirements, the new physical control measures, and Department of War expectations of their compliance with safety and security requirements. The memo states, it notes that in addition to the additional press identifier badge, the Pentagon Force Protection Agency will start issuing new badges to the press in the coming weeks, giving priority to resident members of the media through, look at the date. Through what date? Through September 30th. I'm going to read it again. Giving priority to resident members of the media through September 30th. And non-resident members of the media beginning October 1st. Now, why is that important? Why do you think that day just happens to fall on the exact same day that the generals and the admirals will be meeting at the Pentagon with Pentagon officials? September 30th? Things that make you go, These new PFACs will have press clearly imprinted on them in red letters, both vertically and horizontally, to assist in identifying members of the press. The Department of War requests the assistance of the media in making sure that all their staff are aware of the physical control measures, including the requirement to provide escorts for any media coming into our spaces for approved interviews. The memo also notes that if any Dow personnel see any news media outside of the areas depicted in Appendix D that do not have an escort, they should direct them back to the designated no escort required areas and alert the Pentagon Operations Office. Up until now, the press could wander around the Pentagon with no oversight, even outside of sensitive classified areas. So moving forward, they'll need an escort to access those areas. they still will have access to the entire defense press office, the press secretary in my office, as well as much of the rest of the building. These are pragmatic changes to protect operational security and ultimately brings the Pentagon in line with other government buildings. Now, I ask you, they're meeting at Quantico. Good question. They're meeting at Quantico. I keep saying Pentagon. Pentagon officials, from what I understand, they're actually meeting at Quantico. But all of the Pentagon officials are there. So, yes, thank you for pointing that out, Constance. From what I understand, they're meeting at Quantico. But here's the reality, and I may be wrong on that. This is so breaking. I just ran in here and did this. So if I got a couple of the facts wrong, I'm just reading what is being said here. But when you think about the timeline, and I got one more thing I want to show you that's very, very alarming. Don't go anywhere, because this is critical to the big picture of what is really going on the global scene. Is that they changed it to the Secretary of War. Then the Secretary of War has changed the press rules to access, almost like they're anticipating major things coming out of the Pentagon that they're not accustomed to coming out, that they need to get a hold on the press before this comes out. And these press credentials kick in on the same day that they're meeting. Now, like I said, I got one more thing to show you that came down today. Before I do that, if you're new to our channel, I want to encourage you to go to our website, LarryRagland.com. Don't go anywhere, because I got one more thing to show you. It involves Donald Trump and what he just said. It's shocking. When you go to LarryRagland.com, everything you need to know about our ministry is there. You can watch all of our previous shows. In fact, the Days of Noah, as you see that right there, that's tonight with L.A. Marzulli. I was a guest on his program, and I'll be showing the replay of that, 7 p.m. Central. But you can also get a free gift. I encourage everybody to click on Get Your Free Gift at the top right-hand corner of that yellow banner. When you do, you're gonna get this pop-up, and it's completely free and of no obligation, no cost to you. Put your name and your email in there. You join our email list called the Noah Generation, and you can get a free ebook that I wrote called The Burning Generation. And that's about the generation that we live in now. So go get your free copy. It's a PDF of The Burning Generation. And we would appreciate you doing that. And, look around the site and maybe contact us and let us know what you think about the program, especially if you're new to our program. Now, this right here's got a lot of people concerned. I've made it very clear that I'm a supporter of the president, okay? But I don't worship him. So he's not my God. Come on, I worship Jesus and him alone. So I'm going to call it like I see it. I support most everything he's doing, but a lot of things some things I don't support. I got huge concerns over this one right here. Somebody asked him today, regardless of how you feel about Israel, not only is it God's chosen people, but it's a sovereign country. So let's listen to what he says today and listen to how he says it.
Did you promise leaders this week that you would not allow Israel to annex the West Bank? And is that something that you
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this directly?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay?
Did you promise leaders this week that something that you
I will not.
Okay, did you catch that? I don't know if you heard the reporter. The reporter said, are you going to allow Israel to annex the West Bank? Because that is what is being said that they're getting ready to do. And he says, I will not allow it. And she said, have you talked to Netanyahu? He says, oh, I've talked to him, but it don't matter. It doesn't matter. I will not allow it. It's enough. It's over. It's time to end it. Was that a call? Was that a declaration? Netanyahu, we're on your side, but if you don't stop this, we're going to pull back our support? Well, look, here's the reality. I don't know how some of y'all feel about Israel. Some of you may be anti-Israel. I am a supporter of the people of Israel. I am a supporter of God's chosen people. I align with a lot of things the government is doing in Israel, a lot of things I do not, emphatically, but I still stand upon if you bless them, bless you, and curse them to curse you. So I'm a supporter of Israel, and I'm a supporter of America. So I'm going to play it one more time, and I want you to let me know in the live chat, let me know in the comment section below, if you're watching this on replay, what are your thoughts about the President of the United States saying to not just a sovereign country, another sovereign country, but Israel, I don't care what you want to do. I will not allow it. Let's watch it one more time.
Did you promise leaders this week that you would not allow Israel to annex the West Bank? And is that something that you
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this directly?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay?
Did you promise?
It's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay? That's what the president said. That was not a message to the reporter. That was not a message to the American people. That sounded like a message to Netanyahu to me. And I want to know what you think about it. Now, let's bring it to a biblical perspective here. I watched him at the United Nations. I heard other people at the United Nations, and I heard about peace. I heard peace, peace, peace. You always hear about peace in the United Nations. And I remember what the word of God says, when they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon them as travail upon a woman. Okay? I'm also thinking about Jesus when he said in Matthew 24, see that you be not deceived, talking about the end times, evidence and signs of his return. See that you be not deceived. He led with that before he said anything about wars, before he said anything about earthquakes and pestilence, and even before he said anything about the days of Noah, which is very, very critical for you to understand the days of Noah, to understand the world we live in. He led with, see that you be not deceived. Because we are in a world of mass deception, and it is only just beginning. The advent of AI in our generation is not just happenstance that it happened right now. No, it was always planned to be revealed at the end time in the generation. Remember when Daniel's writing about, who's he writing about? He's writing about because he's seeing what I believe is us, the final generation. He's writing about us, and he sees things pertaining to us. And then all of a sudden, God says, stop. I know what you saw, and I know what you was about to write, and I know what you wrote it, and I know you wrote it. Seal it up. Do not permit it to be seen by anyone until the days that men shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. I believe we're in the days of the opening of the scroll of Daniel. I believe that we are beginning to see, and are about to see things that no other generations have ever seen. I believe there's things even in Scripture, no adding or taking away, no personal interpretation, hidden in plain sight. God has put blinders on the church for thousands of years, and he's going to release those blinders, and I believe we're going to see things. I'm not talking about adding anything. I'm talking about the actual letters, words, and text. Just read them, and you're going to see things in it. It's already been happening to me and other people around the world. Why? Because God is illuminating this generation, because we are the Noah generation. We are living in the days of Noah. This is the beginning. Well, there has to be wars. Jesus said there will be wars, not just rumors of wars, but wars and rumors of wars. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not Debbie Downer here. I'm a hope dealer, okay? I'm not a fear monger. Y'all can say what you want to say about a veiled reference to an eagle somewhere in the Old Testament, but as far as I can see, America is not emphatically mentioned in the last days. As powerful as America is, and God's not the author of confusion, there's no way in this world, if America was still going to be a powerful force, when this thing completely winds down to the very, very, very end, we would see American prophecy, but we don't see American prophecy. Well, we see other countries that's very obvious in prophecy. Why do we not see America? Well, there's the theory that it's because of the rapture of the church, and when the church is raptured, the favor of God leaves us. There's also the theory that America will turn their back on Israel. I will bless them to bless you and curse them to curse you. I hope we don't turn our back on Israel. I'm not saying we blindly support everything they're doing, but I hope we don't turn our back. These are the last days, y'all. These are the days of Noah. Strange things are about to be happening. Tonight, I'm going to talk about some of them, If you want to come back tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time, many of you know L.A. Marzulli. It's called The Days of Noah here. You can look around our channel and you can see that we cover as much as we can to get people ready for the end times. But if you come in late, one more time, let's recap before I jump off of here. Secretary Hegseth has ordered a rare, urgent meeting of over 800 U.S. generals and admirals from all around the world for an in-person meeting. Let me know in the comments, let me know in the live chat what you think this is all about. What do you think about Donald Trump saying, I will not allow it? I will not allow anything Israel wants to do with the West Bank as far as annexation. My. All right, so thank you for jumping on here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share this with somebody that you think this might bring value to. And comment, let me know where you're watching from. If you came over from Mike Signorelli, let me just say, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Yeah. We love you over here. We have a good time with the big picture. And if you're brand new to our channel, we love you. Thank God for you. See you next time, where we always want to remind you, we ain't woke, but we certainly are awake. God bless.
Help us build the big picture family. We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. Go to LarryRagland.com to give a one-time gift or become a monthly partner. Any amount blesses the entire big picture family. While you're there, pick up our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect on social media, and get on the big picture mailing list at LarryRagland.com. Join us and be a part of the big picture family, where we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
You're watching The Big Picture.